Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of my YouTube channel, Cute Tattoo Girl PhD. I haven't really found a name for you guys. I hope you guys give me a comment. Leave in the comments, see if there's something that's better than Cute Tattoo Girl PhD. You guys already know I'm a doctor, so you guys already know what I do, and I'm an advocate for special education students, and I advocate for those who do not have a voice. I will speak your voice. So why am I here today? I wasn't gonna do a video, but I've been a little bit offended by the school that my daughter attends. I have a 12-year-old autistic child that is very codependent. If you guys know, you know, parents out there with children with special needs on an iPad. So what happened today was my daughter had an optometrist appointment where we check her eyes because my other daughter has a problem with her eyesight, and so do I. So I wanted to make sure that my other kids are like healthy as far as vision, because it does run in the family that we have problems with eyesight. And the optometrist told me that right now there is a slight problem with her vision where she's going to have to use readers. And I asked him, what's the problem? And he said, too much screen time or TV time. Well, my daughter doesn't really watch TV because there's really nothing good on TV for her to watch, but the iPad, Roblox, etc. And I said, okay, so what do you suggest? I suggest that you, instead of giving her the iPad, you give her some other things that will stimulate her mind. Example, Legos. Example, blocks. Example, reading a book. Example, he gave me a bunch of like things, you know. And I said, what are the biggest things that children her age are into? He said Minecrafts and Roblox, but the ones you actually build, right? Use your hands, use your mind, especially Legos. He said Legos are very important because, you know, there's levels to Legos. One is to sit down and actually work on a piece. Second, there's sorting involved, color involved, grouping involved, and then formulating something to create something that might not be typical of the box. It could be something completely they created, right? And I said, okay, well, I'll talk to my teacher. So I talked to my case manager. I said, hey, a couple of days ago, and about maybe making her aware of, what was going on, not the appointment, but why I was taking her in, because she's squinting a lot. And so I had to make that appointment. And today we had a conversation right after the appointment. I told her what had happened, etc. And she said that her specialist, whoever the specialist is, needs a new job, because they don't live with children that are neurodivergent. They don't know what children are facing when they're at home, and they don't have anything to do when they're bored and they're just in their room. Like, this little girl is very quiet, very to herself, my daughter anyway. And so I asked, I said, what about Legos? Part of our IEP, manipulatives, right? To manipulative, it's like blocks. And she came, she kind of didn't say anything at 12, but when I talked to her at 2, she said off record, because she always tells me things off record. And she said, I don't think they're going to approve Legos because Legos are considered a toy. I go, a toy for who? Because if you have a neurotypical student that likes dolls and knows how to play with them appropriately, and does Legos and knows how to play with them appropriately, or builds things like a race car and knows how to play with that appropriate, that's different when you have a neurodivergent or a student with special needs that sees a lot of pieces that they need to sort out, follow directions. There's levels. Stay put, separate, integrate, eventually create. So there's levels. And there was an interaction between my older daughter, who's 13, and her doing a Lego set, which I bought for them, right? And they did really well together. And they did it for about 3 hours, which is really impressive for a child that's neurodivergent. To sit there for 3 hours and do a project, it's really hard for them to do that. And my neurodivergent community will understand if you have a mid to moderate child with those kind of needs. And I was impressed. So that's why I brought that up. We had an emergency IEP. I said my piece. And today they denied me. So what do I typically do? I record things. I'm a researcher. I collect data. I need baseline data to prove my point. I've seen them interact using the Legos. they don't use it as playing stuff. Because even my 13-year-old daughter, when she's done building the parakeet, or she's done building the rabbit, or whatever it is that she's building, the Harry Potter gigantic castle or whatever, what she does is we get them in cases, we encase them, and we put them in her room as decor. They're not used for playing, they're used for observing. I created something so special, why would I want to destroy it, right? And I even showed, I recorded everything. I go, these are some of the Lego pieces, and I think I have about maybe 30 pieces that they've done in the room in a shelf where you could see them. But again, I was brought down saying, my specialist is saying blah blah blah. And I'm like, what does a specialist do? She says, well, she's in charge of the special education department, and she blah blah blah, and she does this and she does that and blah blah blah, whatever. So I've been having a really bad day. You guys, if you guys don't know, Rare Beauty has this like line. I'm not promoting the brand, but it just really helps with you have anxiety and stuff like that. So I have anxiety all day today, and this smell just really helps with my anxiety, because I do have anxiety. Even though I have a good degree, I still have my problems like PTSD and anxiety. So use it if you need it. Your hands to massage your hands out. Anyway. So I was let down today by the school district, and now I recorded me breaking the news to Nicole because of what the optometrist said, that she needs to limit her screen time, which means no iPad time after every session. She has to earn her iPad time until bedtime. So an hour before bedtime, she can have it for an hour. And she was very, very upset. I recorded it all, and then I sent it to the teacher. So happens that tomorrow she starts Sandy testing. If you guys don't know, kids have to test 3 times a year. It's called either the 360 or Sandy, which is an alternative test for children with special needs. Today she did great, because she started testing today. But tomorrow, I told her, because it is testing, and you want to prove me wrong, I'm going to prove you right. So tomorrow before class, when Nicole asks you, or says, because this is the very first thing she'll say, like, I'm working from my iPad, it is your responsibility as an administrator and case manager and her SIA teacher to inform Nicole she is no longer allowed to get onto her iPad after session. And I want to see how session goes. I want to see how great she actually does without that motivator, without that high functioning motivator that she's working so hard for. When I've asked you plenty of times and giving you plenty of opportunities. Now get this, the iPad is my iPad. It's not provided by the school, and they're very dependent on it for her academic success, and that's where my problem is. If you want her to have an iPad, I expect you to buy her an iPad. 1. 2, if you expect her to live off that iPad, I expect you to pay for her optometrist visits and her glasses and her headphones and everything she needs in order to academically succeed. It is not my responsibility, because your school gets paid for having my child there. So that's the dilemma. I'm upset about it. I've already fought it with the case manager. She took it to the specialist. Now I'm taking it to the superintendent. Because, see, there is options, you guys. What I want you guys to understand as society is that we always tend to just, whatever we get, we can get as parents with special challenges. If we apply for benefits like SSI for disabled, and we get $100 a month, we're okay with it, because that's what we can get. Because you make too much money. Because you got too much money in the bank, because you own too many houses. What does that have to do with my child's disability? My assets. It is for her disability. It is not for my disability. I can pay my own bills, right? But it would go to her food. Do you know a lot of disabled children, or children that are neurodivergent or autistic, have special food sensitivities that require them to always eat one specific thing, and it can be expensive, such as pizza. One pizza, my daughter, who is older, my 17-year-old, requires one kind of pizza, and it's $65 for a large pizza, because it's a specialty pizza and it has certain things on it. And every time I order pizza 3 times a week, it's $65 that comes out of my pocket. Does the whole family eat that pizza? No, we leave it for her because we can eat something else. Chicken nuggets. They're a specific kind of chicken nuggets. They have to be organic and they have to be from Yummy and etc. And each one of those at Smart and Final is about $15.99 a bag. Lasts them about 2 days. Burritos. You know the chimichanga burritos, the blue ones? I'm sure you're aware. They're $5.99 a bag and there's 8 of them in there. I've got 5 babies. You do the math. So it's very, we settle to get to the point. We settle for whatever we can get. And it's not whatever we can get. It's what they deserve. And in this country, based on their disability, they deserve to get exactly what they're required to get. And that is for them to get medical care when they need it, the therapies that they need, if they're incontinent, where they're like needing diapers and pads when they're on their menstruation periods and etc. That needs to be paid by the state because they're actually considered part of the disabled community and they have rights. But we settle. And you guys let them settle. It's time to stop settling and start saying, you know what, enough. What do you need? What does my child need to get her full SSI? What does my child need to get food stamps for herself? What does my child need to get an ID in the state of California once they turn 16, 17 years old? They need identification, right? Which I'll have in another video how you guys can, if you guys have a neurodivergent student or child or adult who have not been able to get an ID because they cannot go into the DMV. Mine cannot because she's a tippy-toe walker. She doesn't wear shoes. And she likes to go to people and kind of spit. So it's a little weird and it will be very uncomfortable. Not only you're putting my daughter in danger, but other people. So I'm going to show you guys step by step what to do when you guys need to get your child into the DMV without being in the DMV. And I'll explain what you need to do to get that ID for your child. Okay? So again, the bottom line to this video is don't settle. Stop settling and learn to speak up because nobody's going to speak up for you. And your child, your adult or your child or whatever it is, adult or child, they're disabled. They're unaware of the situation. They don't have a voice but you. You're responsible for them as I'm responsible for mine. And there is no way in this God's green earth that I'm going to stop fighting for what they deserve and what is promised to them on a legal document called an individualized education plan. It's a legal document that needs to be complied. If Legos isn't the answer, then give me an answer or give me a solution that is not a toy. And that's what these videos about. I'm upset, as you might tell. I'm so sorry. I apologize. But when things like this happen, it sets me back. It's like, we did this 13 years ago, where I'm fighting for the same things. So how is the school pretending to be protecting and helping our students when they're actually not? They're avoiding the situation. And that needs to stop. So me and the superintendent will have a conversation about what a legal document entails, what modifications entail, what interventions entail. And that's how we're going to get to a point. We're going to say, okay, this is what it is, and this is what I expect. Because if it wasn't so written in the IEP, then I would suggest you remove it from the IEP so I don't come in with a lawyer and say, you know what, my child's not getting the things that she requires. The iPad that she uses is mine. I can take it away. And what progression are you going to get but regression? So it's very important that you keep up and be consistent. So that is the end of my video, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Always thank you so much for the new subscribers. It is so appreciated. And again, always sending my love from myself and my family to yours and to all those who are neurodivergent kids and adults. As always, my heart goes out to you, and I am here. I am your voice to speak your voice, even though you don't have one. And to all the parents that are struggling with this, you're not alone, because I'm right here with you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will answer them. I will do videos. I will go live. I will answer any questions that you might have that has to do with children that are disabled or adults that are disabled, where I can help with resources. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and may God bless each and every one of you. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment to my videos. It's so helpful to me so I can spread the word of awareness. This is what the channel is about. I need to spread awareness to as many people I can get to as possible. So may God bless. And you guys have a good day. Bye-bye.